Northwick Park Hospital in London provides the setting for our next item. In 2006, a new leukemia drug, Taralazumab, or TGN-1412, received approval from the UK government and pharmaceutical regulators for a clinical trial to be conducted. It was arranged for the private suite of the Northwick Park Hospital. The principal investigator, Dr. Daniel Bradford, had already conducted more than 300 clinical trials, so was highly regarded in the field. 8 volunteers were each paid £2,000 to participate in the trial. One of the participants had just returned from studying in the United States. He embarked on the trial as a means to clear his debts quickly. The trial began at 8 a.m. on the 13th of March. 2 out of the 8 were given placebos. The 2 participants receiving placebos were randomized, and the other 6 were administered 1/500th of the dose previously used in experiments. All previous tests were with laboratory animals. This was Taralazumab's first in-man trial, meaning it had never been used in humans before. Less than an hour after the trial began, the 7th participant was administered either the trial drug or placebo by intravenous. This was when the first participant complained of an excruciating headache. The ill effects of the drug then began to manifest in the other participants, with their organs failing and bodies going into shock. The cumulative aftermath caused a major panic throughout the main hospital. According to Dr. Bradford, it was at that point already clear which 2 had been given the placebos.
After I graduated, I worked as a junior doctor in hospitals before joining a private drugs company that ran trials. I was promoted to principal investigator, the doctor in charge. I had been involved in more than 300 trials by March 2006, when I was put in charge of testing a new drug in the private wing of Northwick Park Hospital in North London. I ran down 2 flights of stairs to the intensive care unit and grabbed the first 2 doctors I saw.
Although the intensive care unit were not factored into the planning of the trial, their assistance was to prove invaluable. It wasn't until 7 p.m. that evening when some of the patients were relatively stabilized. We use the word relatively because although death was averted, it was the beginning of a lifetime of horrendous medical complications for them all. At around about 2 a.m. the next morning, the mother of Rob Oldfield received a call from the hospital and then made a frantic journey from her home in Bristol to see her son. She was advised by the medical team that it was highly possible she would be saying goodbye. Another patient's head was so swollen that he was completely unrecognizable. When visited by his next of kin later on in the day of the trial, she stated that his appearance resembled that of the infamous Elephant Man. The trial is sometimes still referred to as the Elephant Man trial. Ryan Wilson was 20 years old at the time. He emerged from a coma 2.5 weeks after the trial. When he left the hospital after 4 months, he had lost some of his fingers and all of his toes. Jean Matthews is the lawyer who represented Robert Oldfield and 3 other participants with their compensation claims. In his discussion about the human cost of clinical trials with a professional associate, he states, "Clinical trials and the safe drugs that hopefully emerge benefit humanity. Without them, numerous life-saving medicines would not exist. Yet when things go wrong, the human cost can be very high. individuals suffer life-changing physical and psychological injuries. The amount of compensation awarded to the participants has never been disclosed, but the pharmaceutical company who developed TGN-1412 or Taralazumab went into bankruptcy later in the same year of the trial, 2006. Commercial rights for the drug were then acquired by a Russian company. Regulations and guidelines for clinical trials around the world were revised as a result of the Northwick Park Elephant Man trials. In this episode, we've looked at two very heavy topics, and you may be interested in each or either of them from an alternative perspective. We aim to provoke the desire for you to go and seek further knowledge. If you find out anything new, please share it with our other subscribers and viewers in the comments below. Keep an eye out for episode 3 of Why the Melanated Distrust Vaccines. Until then, bye-bye.